Canada is a slight favorite to lift the trophy February the 20th for the Four Nations face-off, according to our friends at FanDuel. Canada also the favorite to beat Sweden in the tournament opener. That will be on Wednesday. And to talk about the tournament, here's Martin Biron, our TSN hockey analyst. Marty, we got our first look at some of Canada's line combinations on Monday. Were you surprised at any of those line combinations, or maybe even surprised at any of the D pairings?
Well, listen, it's kind of nitpicking here because they've got four great lines and all the roster alone is fantastic, right? And it was fun to see that everybody was on social media. Oh, this guy's on the ice first and this guy's on the ice second. And look at this line. Look at this power play. Number one, the power play is unbelievable. And as Brad Marchand said, like, you may have to put three goalies in the net to stop them. But let's look at the lines. And I think that if there was a little criticism is that I would have liked to have seen more speed on the second line. Look, Crosby is in the middle. McKinnon is on the wing. And right now they have Mark Stone. So I probably would have gone with a guy like Seth Jarvis or Travis Konechny. One of those two guys may be out, right? Maybe the extra forward. But I think that would bring more speed to the top six. You already have a ton of speed with McDavid and Marner on the top line. And you only have one speedy guy on the second line. So I would have liked to have seen a second speedy winger to go along with Sidney Crosby. But again, that's nitpicking. But right now, you look at Canada's lines, they all have an identity, right? It's not a fourth line. You look at Bennett, Cirelli, and Hagel. They are going to make things so hard on the opposition stop line. That's going to be fun to see what the matchup is. And on defense, I think that Devon Toews and Cale Makar, they have to play together because they're so good together. But I think at some point, you may want to say, okay, let's give it a try with maybe Drew Doughty there or somebody. There may be an in-game adjustments that is made to the back end. It looks good on paper right now, but let's see what it looks like when they actually hit the ice and play the games.
I love that you brought up Konechny. He was sick on Monday, so he didn't practice. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits into the lineup once he starts to practice. John Cooper said he's not ready to announce his number one goaltender. It seems like it could be Adin Hill, backed up by Jordan Binnington, with Sam Montembeault as a third stringer. Marty, if you were coaching this team, is that how you would set up the goalie hierarchy?
Yeah, that would be with Adin Hill being my number one goaltender. But I like how Team Canada and their coaching staff said this is not going to be a goalie rotation. So it's Adin Hill's net to lose. You're going to play game one. You're probably going to get game two as well. But if it doesn't go well, maybe for game three we will see Jordan Binnington, because I think Binnington is the backup with Montembeault as the third goalie. But with Adin Hill, he's won a cup with Vegas. He was really good before the injury last season. And look, has it been the the best version of Adin Hill of late here? No, but it also hasn't been the best version of Jordan Binnington or of Sam Montembeault. So I think you're looking at all three goaltenders. They're not going into this tournament feeling really good about themselves, but Adin Hill is probably the more consistent of the three of them, and I would start him. But obviously, you have to make an adjustment if things don't go well after game two.
Marty, we have talked at length at what an advantage the Americans have in net. I mean, you've got last year's Vezina winner who could potentially start every game. He's probably going to be this year's Vezina winner, too. How much of an advantage does that truly give the Americans in this tournament?
It's a big advantage because when you look at the goaltending for Team USA, they're much better than all three other teams in the tournament, right? But everybody says, well, you don't have to have three good goaltenders. You only need one. I don't care. Connor Hellebuyck is still the best goalie in the world. He's still the best goalie in the tournament. And it's only 4 games. It's a short tournament. So I think that not only can he play well and consistently, he can steal you a couple of games, hopefully for Team USA. And Connor Hellebuyck, the game that he's going to steal would be the finals, right? Trying to win the tournament. On the flip side, because it is not a best of 7, it's not a best of 5, it's a one-game winner-take-all, you're looking at it and you say, okay, it's kind of like the Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes didn't have his best game in the Super Bowl, and Kansas City lost. So you want to make sure that you have the most consistent and the best goaltender going into that last game. And I still think Connor Hellebuyck is that guy right now. And I think everybody in Winnipeg want to see what he can do, because that may be a preview to the playoffs when the Jets and that great team get there.
And we've talked about Canada and the U.S. so much, Marty. I actually want to ask you, the other two teams, Finland and Sweden, which one of those two teams do you think could potentially be the surprise of this tournament?
Well, I think the right answer is Sweden, right? I mean, for Team Finland, it's hard. They don't have as many players in the NHL, and they have injuries to deal with. But when you look at Team Sweden, yes, they have Willie Nylander and Mika Zibanejad and Rope Hansen. They've got great forwards, but it's that group of defensemen. You have Victor Hedman, you have Matthias Ekholm, you have Rasmus Dahlin, Rasmus Anderson, and right now you have a guy that may be the seventh defenseman and may go in at some point, and maybe he starts in Gustav Forsling. He won the cup and was really good for the Florida Panthers. I look at that group of defense; they've always been so good defending. I remember when Sweden won the Olympics and Henrik Lundqvist was the goaltender. Well, Lundqvist was great, but he had that group of six defensemen in front of him that were fantastic. I think Sweden can be a surprise because they can defend. They can go in and say, we're going to win a game 2-1 because our group of six defensemen are going to be very hard to play against. And I think for that reason alone, Sweden can really cause a surprise in the tournament.
Well, and we're going to find out very soon just how good Sweden is. That's who Canada will open the tournament against. That'll be on Wednesday. Martin Biron, thanks for this.